The maid shouted at Seal and asked if she had made the tea. Seal was a little taken aback. The girl forgot about him. The maid said that Seal would definitely make tea from Lorraine. Seal hurriedly ran to make tea that would be served for dinner. She thought that all these things were very troublesome. The girl walked and thought about everything. She knew that today the Duke must die. She was a simple maid and was not close to the Duke, but she knew that he had his whole life ahead of him. Seal knew that the Duke only came of age this year. The girl sincerely did not believe that he could die in his office. Seal knew everything that would happen. In a past life, she read a novel about him and knows everything. The girl found tea and briefly thought that everything that was happening was very surprising, because not everyone can get into their favorite short story. When she saw the table at the Jescarts' estate, Ciel drooled as everything seemed very appetizing to her, but the girl mentally told herself to get ready because she knew what day it was. The Duke and Duchess were sitting at the table. Ciel did not understand how Saint Reyna could sit with such a peaceful expression on her face and eat calmly and later kill a person. The Duchess loved Duke Furzy very much, but unfortunately, her love was unrequited. Instead of love, he decided to go to war, and her love turned into hatred for him. The Duchess gave her preference to her husband's cousin Prince Callan and decided to poison her husband. The girl thought that it would not be bad if the Duchess changed her mind. After all, Ferze was the Duke of the White Estate, and he behaved normally with the servants. The Duke and Duchess sat and discussed the incident where the lady was attacked and tried to sweat. Ferze was at a loss as to how anyone could attack a royal person. The Duchess said that she managed to buy Serratian Northern Mountain wine. After all, it is not sold in stores. She also added that they would prepare it in honor of the celebration of returning from the war. Ciel knew that the wine was poisonous. She didn't want the Duke to drink it. Therefore, the girl decided to stop the Duchess kill him and hastily knocked the glass out of the Duke's hands. The Duke was at a loss. He ordered the Duchess to be protected and asked the girl how she could betray him, but the girl only said that the wine was poisonous and that he should not drink it. The girl knew that if she drank wine, she would not die, so she told the Duke that she would drink instead of him, since death was definitely awaiting him, and her fate was not such a sad one. He let her drink. The girl took a couple of sips and was shocked by what happened. She became a child. The Duke was at a loss. He told Sir Bart that he seemed to have gone mad. He ordered the servant to lock the girl. The young lady was furious and screamed at him. She didn't understand how he could lock a child in a dungeon. Ciel told him a lot of things, but he just looked at her in amazement and thought that she was very funny. The girl, in turn, thought that she should have drunk the bun and died. Ciel woke up and didn't understand where she was. It was not a dungeon, but cozy chambers. Ciel was surprised when she saw the Duke next to the bed. He said it was high time she got up and that she should thank the butler for not ending up in prison. He also said that she doesn't look like a killer at all. The girl decided to take advantage of the situation and asked choosing the right words for a reward for the rescue. The Duke agreed. The butler woke the girl and introduced her to the maids as Miss Ciel Bessena from the far northern region. Ciel was shocked and thought that they were just making fun of her. She decided to play along. Ciel sat with the Duke and ate. He said that she caused quite a stir. The girl timidly said that she did not want things to turn out this way. She also said that she would work as a maid for him and would not go to the Bessenas. After all, she knew what kind of family there was. Ciel knew that that family was made up of mercenaries and they didn't follow the rules. They are magicians, and if someone does not have a family but has magical power, then they can accept a magician into their family. But even if you look at them the wrong way, you can be left without a head. The Duke said that he had heard from her many times that she did not want to go anywhere. The girls were upset and almost cried in front of him. The Duke offered her cookies. Ciel couldn't believe it because it was very expensive and someone like her couldn't afford it. She accepted and thanked the Duke. The butler brought them the contract. Ciel was surprised the Duke said that there was more than simple poison in the bottle, and the poison is very strong, which could kill up to 10 people at a time. The girl did not understand why she was still alive. The Duke said that he would help her get rid of the curse as a reward for saving him and would also give her gold. A knight came to the Duke? He was surprised by the Duke's request. The young man did not understand why he should heal the maid, But this was not an ordinary knight, but the eldest son of the Bysena family. Seal was surprised by the arrival of the knight. After all, there was very strong enmity between the families, which smoothly turned into war after the abduction of the saint. The Duke rescued her from captivity, and everything ended well. The girl greeted politely, but the knight said that he did not need greetings from those below him in status. They made eye contact, and the knight said that she was truly a fearless maid for looking into his eyes. No one else did this, except his brothers and sisters. He asked the girl whether she was a murderer or a double agent, but she only said that she was a simple maid. The knight was furiously surprised by her answer. The young man thought out loud that she was too plain to play the role of his sister and was not even fit to be a maid. The girl was furious. The Duke told the girl that it was time for her to sleep. Seal was a little puzzled since at first they gave her a contract and then abruptly sent her to bed. The girl fell asleep but heard a noise. She saw men sitting who thought about the deal and its terms. Seal overheard them talking about their engagement. She couldn't understand what was happening. "I'd like to hear what they're talking about." But in a fit of emotion, she couldn't stand it and jumped up as if scalded. The young people just looked at her in surprise. Since the girl saved the Duke, he had to lift the curse from her. It could only be filmed in the Bysena family. For cover, the family would adopt her. In return, they wanted to get mines in which they mined magic stones, which would help in the fight against monsters. Seal drank tea and listened to information about her engagement. After the assassination attempt, the Duke broke off the engagement with his chosen one, but he needed a new wife. In order not to marry the sister of the knight Bysena, he decided to marry Seal, since she would be their adopted daughter. Seal thought about this proposal and signed the contract. After all, she thought that there was nothing wrong with it. "In 3 years, I will remove the curse from her, and she will be an adult girl. Then they will legitimize the relationship, and after some time, they will divorce." Seal thanked the Duke for not leaving her, but for giving her a chance to live a good life. The young man took the girl in his arms and said that it was time for them to set out on their journey to the north. Sharkus gave instructions to the young lady, and she listened attentively. He warned her about a lot of things, but the main warning was that she should avoid his father and brother. They were dangerous. The girl grabbed his neck and completely agreed. The girl was riding in a carriage. It was her first ride and quietly hummed a song. Sharkus asked where exactly she heard this song. The girl said that on the street when she was in the shelter, Seal remembered how her drunkard father forced her to steal and beg. This was before she was reborn. Previously, the girl's name was Yong Seun. She was an orphan. She was always busy with work, and even died on a business trip. And when she woke up, she saw that she had been reborn into the body of a young girl who lives in the slums. In my favorite novel, Seal secretly stole money from her father and escaped from the slums, but life threw her new challenges. Seal was seriously injured. A woman saved her from death. She was the chief housekeeper. She came out and helped her with her work. Sharkus listened to her story. He didn't really hold the girl. She wasn't even surprised, but he said that soon she would be grateful that she had such a wonderful brother. The young man asked Seal if her father was still alive. The girl said that she did not know since she did not communicate with him. Sharkus said that she would settle all family issues so that they would not cause trouble in the future. He also asked her to forget about kindness, as their family has a different motto. The carriage stopped. Seal saw furs. They were under surveillance, and he was actively involved in eliminating it. His face was covered in blood. Seal wanted to ask if he was injured, but the young man only replied that he did not kill anyone. They arrived north 2 days later. Sharkus frantically wanted to send furs somewhere, but the young lady was against it. Looking at the area, Seal fervently hoped that their house would not become a grave for her. Seal walked around and looked at the house. She was amazed by the many pictures. The girl thought that in their place there would be a large portrait of the head of the family. Sharkus called the girl, saying that it was time for her to meet the Duke. They entered the huge room and knelt before the Duke. The Duke spoke to his son. Seal thought he had a very pleasant voice and decided to look at him. The Duke was surprised. He said that she was looking at him point blank and that it was too impudent. And, in addition, he asked his son if Tally was a mercenary who was raised by the Duke. The girl said that she was a simple maid, but she knew that the gentleman did not believe her. The girl was afraid that he would not believe her and would kill her. He hastily told him that she was not lying and swore fidelity, and also said that she would not let him down. But unfortunately, she called his name and was taken aback by what she had done. The girl knew that for such ignorance, she could easily be killed. She pulled Sharkus by the sleeve. She silently asked him to help. The young man said that because of the spell, her intelligence had decreased and she was not to blame for such behavior. But the Duke did not believe him. He said he doesn't like people like her. The Duke said that if she wants to survive in their family, then she must be very smart and cunning. He also told his son to prepare everything necessary for the test. Sharkus took the girl in his arms. They walked away from the Duke's office. Sharkus asked the young lady if there was anything she was good at. The girl was plain and she listed what she was good at. But unfortunately, all her achievements were not suitable. Seal sat and wondered what she should do and how to pass the test. After all the thinking, she realized that she needed to take the test anyway. Sharkus brought her books about the history of the Bicena family. The girl was surprised. There was a whole mountain of books there. She asked the young man that she needed to learn all this in one day. Sharkus said not in 1, but in 2 days. Seal began to look at the books and did not understand how a family that had existed for 20 years had accumulated so much history. There was a lot there. Reading the first pages, the girl thought that the Duke really loved himself because there was a lot of information about him. Sharkus said that he had learned it all and knew the whole story by heart. The girl was amazed. The young man also said that he tortured the examiners. The girl recalled how in a past life she had read all the books in the novel and she remembered everything. But there were small details, the author was focused on them. But Seal knew she could handle the task. All these 2 days when the girl was getting ready, the servants watched her. They were very kind. The maid smiled and wished the girl good luck. She also said that Duke Fairzy gave her a gift. Opening the box, Seal did not understand what kind of gift it was. She asked the maid if it was really a gift. The maid said that this was a medicine that would help her die quickly and painlessly. Seal went to take the test. When she arrived at the venue, she was shocked by such an elegant place. There were many items that were made of gold. Seal entered the hall and saw only representatives of the family. The Duke was supposed to approach them. They waited for him. Furs came in and immediately wished good luck to the girl. The head of the family told the girl to name the weakness of the Bicena family. The girl was taken aback and thought for a long time. She knew if she answered quickly it would be bad. She remembered the main books of the novel and knew what would happen to the characters next, but she couldn't say that she would destroy the head of the family, because today he has another weakness. Seal said that his weakness is fire. He approached her and asked again. The girl did not understand whether she answered correctly or whether she should have said something else. She didn't know what to expect from him. Without waiting for his first move, she touched his hair and said he wasn't very careful. Everyone had a different reaction to the girl's actions. Queen pulled out her sword from its sheath and was ready to attack at any moment. Sharkus thought that the girl had gone crazy. God just grinned and said she did it. The second test was for the girl to drink poison. She already wanted to run away, but she understood perfectly well that if she ran away, everyone would pursue her, and it would only get worse. If Seal drinks the poison and survives it, she will pass the test, and if she drinks the antidote, she will fail. The girl drank it, but the taste was very bitter. The girl drank one, and she only had 5 left. Seal drank them one after another. She felt nothing and asked the maid when they would start acting. The maid gave the girl the last poison and said that it was made from a dragon's tail and could kill even a soldier. Seal was hesitant about whether or not she should drink, but she had no choice. And as a last resort, she had an antidote. Seal didn't expect the poison to taste so disgusting. She vomited a little. The maid hurriedly asked if she was all right and if she needed to take an antidote. Seal said everything was fine and she drank it all. The girl asked the maid to give her candy. The maid was taken aback by shock. When she ate one candy, she asked for more. The maid gave her a lot of sweets. The girl went to an audience with the Duke. Looking at her, the Duke said that the only ones who were able to drink poisons were his sons. He also added that he really liked her and asked her if she would like to become the daughter of a monster for 3 years. The girl knew that she had to answer something, but she could not say anything. She said that she would follow the Duke's wishes and do everything for him. But she also called him by name. Sharkus jerked her and said that it was very rude to address the Duke by his first name. The girl was shocked and wondered why he didn't say this earlier. The Duke asked her if she would follow the terms of the contract. The girl said yes and again addressed him by name. In response, he just laughed and let them go. It's been 4 days since the last second task. Seal knew that she was already part of the family. And I didn't understand why there was a third task. The girl wanted to find Furs and tell him about her successes, but she couldn't find him no matter how hard she tried. The girl went to the room to submit the third assignment and was taken aback. She saw a huge cage. She looked into it and did not understand whether there was anyone there or not. It was very dark, but I felt that someone must be there. While the girl was looking into the cage, an unknown person, a man in a hood, approached her from behind. The girl was scared for a moment. She thought it was an assassin sent by her. Taking off her hood, the girl saw Furza. She screamed his name out of joy. The guards came running at her scream. They asked if everything was okay. The girl said that her leg just hurt. They left, leaving him alone. Furs came out of hiding and they had a pleasant conversation. He was worried about her, and he told her not to forget that she still belongs to his family and about the enmity between families. He also said that he wants to kidnap her. She was shocked. Seal said that the best medicine for worries is candy. Furs said that he doesn't like sweets. The girl said that she saw him eat them in the morning. He looked at her and said that she began to speak like a true member of the family. He brought her cookies. The girl was very happy. She shared the second cookie with him. He was surprised, but he accepted the cookies. The girl asked where he was during the second test. He said he watched her and wondered whether she would die or not. He heard some movement, wished the girl good luck, and left in a hurry. The judges entered. As soon as they sat down, a large wolf appeared behind the girl. She was scared. The girl only managed to shout out to them and ask that they wanted to kill her, but they didn't answer her. Seal prayed a little and rushed into battle. With a knife in her hands, the girl attacked the wolf, but he easily knocked the weapon from her hand. The girl knelt down and, with tears in her eyes, asked her father to save her. Furs shouted at her that she was asking for the wrong thing. Sharkus told her that she would ask him. The Duke told them to get out of the way and he would deal with the wolf himself. He shot him with his bow. The beast fell dead to the ground. The gentleman took the girl in his arms and told Erza that he did not say that he would give his girl to him. The girl pulled the Duke's hair and said that he would not disappear to Furtz. Everyone was shocked by the girl's behavior. The young lady knew that she needed to decide something quickly, otherwise it would be bad. The girl saw that she had pulled out a little hair from the gentleman. She said that she had a clouding of her mind. The master told Seal that she was the first person to touch him. She didn't know what to do. The girl was afraid that he would kill her. She quickly hugged him. He reciprocated. She pulled away from him, and he told her not to do that again. The girl knew that the Duke's hair was very valuable, so she hid it inside her jacket. The girl was told by the administrator that she failed the task because she should have done everything herself. The Duke said to seize and put the administrator in prison. The girl would like to say something, but she froze in place. 15 days have passed since the completion of the task. Seal studied hard. She had about 6 different classes a day. The girl worked hard at everything. She knew that because of the poison, her character and behavior had changed. She was disturbed by a man. He introduced himself, saying that his name was Noyce. He said he knew about her successes in the family history. The girl was surprised. He asked if she knew anything about the imperial family. The girl thought that another lecture was waiting for her. She was waiting. Ciel wanted to learn something new, but unexpectedly for her, the man asked her a question. The girl was confused. She didn't know how to answer correctly or what position to choose. The man asked about politics and government. Ciel gave him an ambiguous answer. Hearing the answer, he took off the blindfold and she remembered who he was and his story. After ascending to the throne, the imperial family convicted his family of treason and exterminated them. He survived, but without an eye. The man asked her if it was possible for her new family to go against the imperial family. The girl was taken aback. He also added that if she had been the leader in the coup, Seal didn't know what to say. She knew that the Bison family was an enemy to the imperial family and the church. She knew how much Duke Bisen had to endure from their alliance against him. Seal said that she would destroy the alliance between the imperial family and the church. She would do everything to protect the lives of her relatives. Seal and her new family were sitting drinking tea. The girl was eating cookies. She had cookies that she promised to give to whoever saved her from the spirit. She went and gave it to her father. He reluctantly took it and listened to it. Shirkus asked why he was the only one to whom she did not give cookies. She had one more, but she quickly ate it. Seal realized that he had seen them before the mission when she gave Queen the cookies. Furs said that it would be easier for her to buy cookies with the money he gave her. Shirkus was angry. The Duke took the girl and decided to leave them. Shirkus only had time to ask where they were going, but he didn't answer. Seal asked where they were going. The Duke softly said that they were going to the capital. The girl thought they were going there to buy cookies, but he said they would buy them next time. He asked her if she was from the street. Seal confirmed. Then she thought that they were coming to kill her father. But the Duke said that from now on she has only one father, and that is him. He showed her the dragon. Seal was shocked. He said that they would fly to the capital on a dragon. She didn't want to. She was very afraid. Still, they sat down and flew away. Ciel said that they could fly not so fast, but the Duke said that they needed to hurry, otherwise the capital would close soon. They arrived at the capital office. There was a hitch in the registration process as most of the employees were kidnapped, but the young man tried to complete all the documents quickly. They waited a bit. As they left the building, they held documents. While walking towards the dragon, they walked through the streets and saw different shops. Seal saw her favorite cookies in the store and wanted to buy them. The Duke smiled and said that he had a weakness for food. They have already returned to the estate. They were met and taken away with boxes of cookies. Seal walked into the room and dreamed of eating cookies on the bed. How her dreams disappeared. She saw Furs. Furza said he knows the girl was in the capital, but he didn't understand why they took her. If the Duke could just disguise someone, but he said he was happy, as long as she was safe. Seal gave him a cookie. It had a fortune in it, and when he saw it, he crushed it. Seal was furious. There was a coupon on the back. If you collect enough of them, you can buy more cookies. He said that when she is at his estate, she will eat a lot of cookies. The girl said that she would not go with him. Furs said that he needed to go to war deal with the rebels and monsters. Seal knew that the imperial family did not like him and was sending him to war. He gave her the ring and put it on her neck. Seal knew it was a family ring. In parting, he kissed her hand and said that she would grow and would grow up upon his return. Otherwise, he did not want to marry a little girl. Seal told him to be more careful. Half a year has already passed since Furs was at war. The girl grew up. Seal stood and braided her father's hair. When he woke up, he said that she was and would be the last one to disturb his sleep. He saw a scythe. Seal said that they have the same ribbons. There was a massacre in the southern region of the kingdom. One knight sat in tears. He set up his friends as bait for monsters, and he himself survived. A masked man approached him. He asked him what happened. He told everything, and the masked man said he would help, and a moment later he killed him. Cielia asked her father to eat with her. She also asked that her brother eat with them. The Duke said that the young man could take care of himself. He took the girl's food order, and he told the butler what needed to be done. Eastern region is the camp of the Knights of the White Knight. Furs cut down monsters with lightning speed. He had other things to do and needed to sort things out quickly. Queen received a letter from Seal. She described all her days as they happened. As he read, he didn't understand why she wasn't asking about him. He also received letters from her new family with innocent reproaches and threats. Furza wanted to return the mine that he had given to them. He knew that he needed to somehow quickly solve her problem with age. Otherwise, their engagement may be terminated. Furze asked to send a telegram to Mikhailovich Mercury so that she could find something. He said to tell her that he would be very generous. Seal was taking magic lessons. True, she was not particularly good at drawing magic signs. The teacher said that it was unlikely that a spell would come out of such a drawing. Seal was not upset. She knew that she had no mana, so she could not draw spells. Then the woman offered to take a test to calculate the amount of magic. The girl agreed. Seal did the work, and the teacher was pleasantly surprised. She showed good results. Mirai Mercury Archmage used to work at the court and was a teacher for Sharkus and Shrey. The woman is only 60 years old, but she manages to look good and young. The woman and the girl said goodbye very nicely. Mirai left. Seal loved the teacher very much, but wanted fewer lessons. After class, Seal wanted to go feed her new friend, Tweety. On the way to Tweety, she saw the maids. They were glowing with happiness. The girl thought that some kind of guest had come to them. They gave her cookies, and the girl moved on. Seal wandered around looking for Tweety, but he was nowhere to be found. She thought he went to see his girlfriend. Seal went very far in search of a new friend. She got lost. She wanted to find someone to help her walk back to the house. Seal saw the building and walked towards it. The girl had never seen him or visited him before. She went inside and shouted, thinking that there might be someone there who would help her. The girl saw a young man. He greeted her. Seal had never seen him, but she knew that this was not Shrey. He had blonde hair and blue eyes. They looked at each other, not understanding who was who. The young man asked the girl if she was the new slave. Seal looked at him and said no, and asked him a counter-question, asking him if he happened to be a gardener. Their conversation was interrupted by the arrival of a huge wolf. The girl stood in front and offered herself to the young man holding a carrot in her hand, shouting at the beast to leave. He asked her if she was going to protect him with carrots. But the girl said that they knew what she was doing, and Tweety frantically called for help. Taking off his glove, the young man said that the Bisenas do not protect their servants. He calmed the animal down, saying that he saved it so it wouldn't be turned into a roast. Seal looked at him and realized that it was Shrey. She named him after him. He said that he did not allow his name to be used, and also said that she was a fake and did not have the blood of the Bisen family. The young man, who was proud of his heritage, did not accept the girl. He was an adopted son. He was asked by his biological parents for his monstrous mana. His voice was a kind of mana. The young man was called a monster because he could not control his voice, and it brought death and destruction. Duke Justius saved the boy when he became a combat slave. For the boy, the Duke was everything. The girl was upset because of her stepbrother's behavior. A wolf approached her, but the girl said that he should leave because she wanted to be alone. Tweet came to them. Seal looked at him and said that he did not come on purpose. The wolf and the dragon stayed with her to hold her. Shrey went to his father. The Duke said that the young man gave him a little trouble since he killed a knight, and he was from an influential family, and now the church is putting pressure on them. Shrey was surprised and asked when the Duke began to care about their opinion. He said that he removed everyone just as he taught him. The young man asked his father if he was rejecting him because of his adopted daughter, but the Duke said that the child would help strengthen the family, and she is not an ordinary person. He also told the young man to teach her. Seal looked everywhere for her toy, but I couldn't find it. She remembered where she could have left him. Seal realized where she had left the rabbit, but did not want to go there because she knew that she might meet her stepbrother. The girl entered the room and saw Shreya. She was wildly surprised. The girl greeted him, but he ignored her. Then she said that she had lost the toy, and as soon as she found it, she would return immediately. He didn't answer. Seal smelled food. Unable to bear it, she sat down to eat. When she had eaten her fill, she tried to talk to her brother again, but he vehemently ignored her. Seal was upset, as this was her second favorite character from the novel. Seal and the young lady were sitting drinking tea. The woman asked Seal why her eyes were wide open during their last meeting. He also said that if this is because of Shrey, then she will quickly deal with him. But Seal said that everything was fine and there was no need to deal with anyone. The girl knew that all her teachers were mercenaries or wanted, and it was better not to joke with them. Shrey came to them. He wanted to talk to Seal, but the girl didn't want to. The woman said there was an anti-intrusion spell on the room. Shrey said that it does not work when he sees that everything is safe. Magic was used on Shrey. Seal was shocked. Shrey said that this is very dark magic and a person should be executed for using it. The woman said it was too harsh. Shrey hung upside down. Seal approached him. One spike flew into her brother's chest. The girl ran to him asking if he was okay. He said that she was a street person and had been trying to kill him for a long time. The girl knew that this was her magical power and she could solve everything. She approached him. Suddenly, a vine flew at her. She got scared and closed her eyes. The vine didn't touch her, and steps appeared in front of her. She walked up the steps to her brother. Seal really wanted to help him and get rid of the wound caused by Liana. The girl felt bad and lost consciousness. Seal began to fall from the steps. Her brother caught her. She wanted to tell him something, but it was hard for her. She only managed to ask why he hated her and fell asleep. He carried her into the room. The girl woke up. Next to her was her friend who was praying for her to awaken. He was overjoyed when she woke up. She told what happened after her fall. The girl was surprised because she did not expect this from a young guy. Suddenly, Shrey came to them. The girl pretended to be asleep. Shrey told her friend that he will not boot her. She left them and left. Shrey sat down on the girl's bed, and he started talking to her. After the fall, the girl asked him a question. He came to give an answer to it. He said that he did not love her because she was very similar to him. Seal listened and thought that there was nothing wrong with this. He sat with his head down and told her that she would be abandoned just as they had abandoned him once. The girl heard a knock on the door and thought that he had left. She jumped out of bed and saw her brother nearby. The maid came and brought food. They were sitting on the bed. Shrey said he heard that the girl ran away from home when she was little. Seal said that she was not abandoned, but on the contrary, she was the first to abandon them. Shrey was surprised, and after thinking he said that this was ridiculous. The maid gave them dessert Seal would like to eat when suddenly she remembered the originals of the book. Shrey dies second at the hands of the main character. In the end, the whole trio dies, and the main character and heroine live happily. Seal wondered how she could save them. Seal never started dessert and said she wasn't hungry. Her friends were seriously worried about her well-being. A year has passed since she hung her brother upside down. No one understood how she got her powers, not even the Duke himself. Now the girl began to call the Duke Daddy. She came to his garden. They sat and drank tea. The girl liked life with him. He taught her everything, gave her gifts, and brought her delicious treats. When the Duke had free time, they spent it together, sitting at a table drinking tea and looking at the lake. Everyone was kind to her, and she was very happy. Except for one person, of course. Shrey was her flight instructor and teacher. He was very strict with her. The girl received a letter from Freyse. It was very short. During all their communication, he wrote only 7 letters in a year and a half, and they were all short. In fact, he only wrote that he was alive. The maid brought her books. It was a gift from Furs. They were all about monsters, how to tame them and how to control them. The maid said that these books are very old. She was shocked that they were 500 years old. Ciel was surprised. The maid said that the books were directly from the Imperial Archives. Ciel saw a book with a red bookmark. Opening it, she saw a law prohibiting engagement between people whose age difference was more than 10 years. Ciel was shocked. She immediately realized that their engagement could fail, and circumventing the law will not be easy if not impossible. The girl thought that the young man sent her away for a reason. There must be something else. Looking through the book, she saw a letter that had fallen out of it. Ciel looked at the letter and thought that there was a lot of empty space there, not as usual. And then a thought occurred to her. She warmed the letter over the candles. The letter was written in invisible ink. After heating, she saw what was written. Ciel expected to see a whole fox of paper written on it, but she only saw one inscription. The young man asked her to wait for him. Ciel didn't understand why he wrote that and what exactly he meant by this phrase. Ciel thought about their engagement. She thought that they had not yet had time to announce it. How could it be terminated? The girl thought that she would quickly grow up and marry him, and then after a few years, they would separate and everything would be in the black. But unfortunately, not everything is so simple. The girl sat and wondered if there was another way to maintain the engagement without harming anyone. The girl's thoughts were interrupted by Mirai. She said it was very sweet when lovers exchange letters like this. Ciel said that it was not at all what she thought. The girl completely forgot about her studies. The lady said that in today's lesson, she will teach Ciel teleportation. Ciel said she was only 8, but the teacher calmed her down and said that she would help her. The girl was afraid of getting stuck between worlds or losing limbs during the wrong move. Ciel loudly asked that Furzy take her. The teacher said it was cute that she missed him so much, and she mentioned that she should meet him soon. Seal was surprised. The woman said that it was probably a secret, so that she could not say anything more. Seal thought to herself that the woman could not have said anything at all then. But the girl also reassured herself that he was alive, and she briefly wondered when she would see him. Furza was alone and remembered the girl. He was sad and missed Seal. He dozed off. When he woke up, he thought it was very unexpected to dream about his past life and about the girl. He read her letter the girl asked when he would return. He wondered if she had read his last letter. His thoughts disappeared when an old acquaintance came to him at a meeting. She brought him what he so passionately desired. The woman showed him everything she had brought but said that she was not sure about them. She was worried about the side effects. Furz took one bottle and drank it, but there was no effect. He decided to drink it all. The woman said that recently this poison had become very popular, and one gentleman bought 14 bottles. She looked at him one last time, thought that everyone wanted to return to their youth and left him. Seal sat outside and drank tea after training. She thought it was difficult to be a villain when the whole day was scheduled by the hour. Her tea party was interrupted by the arrival of her brother. Sharkus brought her flowers. The girl was very happy to see him. They were both happy to be reunited. He asked her if she was bored. The girl said with a smile that she was not. Sharkus said that this behavior attracts her even more. He said with a smile on his face that her engagement was called off. Sharkus wanted to have fun, and she knew it. But he began to throw her around like that, and the news of the engagement plunged her into shock. She felt sick. She didn't know what to do, and called Shreya. He didn't want to go, but the girl screamed again, and he went to help her. He approached them and told his brother to make life easier because he was just a child. A serious skirmish ensued between us. They began to quarrel. Seal was no longer happy that it all happened this way. How then, they asked the girl who, in her opinion, should be the heir of the family. Seal knew she couldn't choose any of them. Since the other take offense at her, she had no choice. She had to answer, and answer without offending anyone. Seal named herself the heir so as not to offend them. She hoped that this would end their quarrel. They looked at her so strangely that she was afraid whether she had said everything correctly. Sharkus said she was a girl with big ambitions. After bombarding the girl with questions, she drooped and said that she was just joking. Sharkus said that he would support the girl in any endeavor, even if she wanted to become an heiress. Atak also asked what her dream was. Seal thought about it. When she was a maid, she wanted to become a head maid. Seal thought about what to say, referring to her contract, and said that she wanted to become a Grand Duchess. Her brother asked her why she wanted to marry a dead man. Seal knew that Furz was alive, but he told her that it wouldn't last long. She thought that her answer was not very reasonable. Everyone had gloomy faces. Barney did Seal's hair, and she said that in honor of her birthday, the family would throw a feast and open the house to visitors. The girl was surprised, because this hasn't been done before. Shrey interrupted their cheerful conversation. He was all in black. Shrey said that he has 2 news, one is good and the other is bad. The girl told him to start with a good one. He was very serious and said that Furz had died. The girl didn't believe him. He couldn't die. She knew they were lying to her. She turned into a girl in vain. She thought there was some kind of misunderstanding. He said his body was never found. The girl did not understand his feelings. He said she was free now. The Duke joined their conversation. He was also dressed in black. Seal asked where they were going. The Duke said that they were going to the capital for the funeral. Seal said that she would also go with them, but her father said he would offer everyone's condolences as it was not safe for her to be there. Rumors spread throughout the house, and the servants were at a loss as to why the family would pay such honors to the deceased if they had been sworn enemies during their lifetime. Seal did not know all the details since she was not in the capital. She read his letter and wondered if he could have foreseen this then. Seal was sitting at the table with her family. She remembered the young man and cried quietly. Sharkus could not stand it and said that he was against Furz's death, and he said that it was all my father's fault. Seal was shocked. She didn't understand what was happening. Her father said she was too young to get married. He said that he would later choose a suitable husband for her himself. She remembered the conversation at the tea party. Seal and his father sat in the gazebo and drank tea. He told her that at the age of 8 it is too early to run after men. She asked at what age it was already possible. The Duke said with a smile that he was about 80. He intended to give her immortality. She looked at him in surprise and said, "Let him lift the curse first." He said that it was nothing and would take about 30 years. The girl knew that for her this was a lot, but for her immortal father it was nothing. Seal asked her father how he thought the Duke would be alive by then. He said he would send him to a wonderful place. The girl asked in surprise where he wanted to send him. He smiled and said that it was in the hands of the Lord. Seal then thought his words were just another joke, but unfortunately for her it was the truth. They consoled her as best they could, but nothing helped. The girl was very upset and wanted to find out the truth. She screamed at them furiously. She wanted to know which of them did this. They shifted the blame onto each other. The girl was furious at what she heard. Their bickering was interrupted by some noise. Coming out onto the balcony, the Duke and Seal saw an explosion and fire. Their estate was burning. The Duke told his sons to scout out the situation. A servant ran to the Duke. He shouted that they were attacked by the Twilight Knights. They came to avenge their commander. He told the servant to look after his daughter. The Duke told Seal not to open the door and wait for him. Barney was sitting with Seal. The girl said that the men left long ago. She was worried about them. Barney said she'd go and have a look, and she told the girl to sit quietly in the room. She sat and waited when suddenly it became very quiet. Going out into the corridor, the girl saw all the guards on the floor. They were unconscious. From what she saw, the girl dropped the letter. She wanted to pick it up when suddenly someone called out to her. She didn't understand who it was. The Twilight Knight or the killer. Taking off the hood, she saw a young man. He was very similar to Ferze, only with a different energy. He said that he was Ferze's illegitimate son. The girl could not believe his fame. She had to become a foster mom at such a young age. The girl fell from shock. Ferze caught her and held her. But the young man asked her if she recognized her betrothed. He told her that he had to drink the potion and turn into a young boy since her spell was simply impossible to break. She didn't believe him, saying he was a murderer. He gave her the cookies and told her that he had kept his promise. Seal realized that it was really him. But the girls didn't understand why he needed to do this. She asked him directly why he did this. He said that she herself asked him about it. The letter indicated that she could not be with someone older than 10 years. He also added that every time in the letter she called him names, the girl was in complete shock. She said she didn't do that, and I didn't write anything like that. Someone was making a joke on him. He invited her to take a walk in the garden. She agreed, and they walked through the labyrinth of the garden of unusual plants. He placed his cape over her shoulders. Seal didn't really want to take her, but he insisted on his own, saying that there were many poisonous plants in the garden that could destroy life. They walked through the garden. Ferze asked Seal if her family treated her well. The girl said that her father and brothers did not hurt her. He was surprised and asked how long she had been calling them, that he was sure that she had been brainwashed. Seal said that she had accepted them in her heart a long time ago and started calling them that. He asked if she was somehow hypnotized or triggered, but the girl said that they didn't say anything bad to her. She remembered how she spent time with them, how she braided her father's hair, how her brother read fairy tales to her. They had a nice conversation. Seal said that he has now become a fairy. The young man said that he had such a nickname as a child. Seal was surprised, but she thought it was cute. When he told her what nickname he came up with, the girl thought that the potion had a very strong influence on him, and she said that this is exactly what is old-fashioned to reduce. And she gave him a couple of options. He thought for a while and said that he would call her Cookie. The Duke interrupted their conversation. He was angry and was dragging the man's body behind him. Ferze said he entered through the main gate. The Duke looked at him and said that he was probably looking for death. Seal knew that her father could kill Ferze, and she pulled him away, blocked him with her body, and told him to run. The Duke said that if she wanted to challenge him, then she should grow up a little, adding that he forgives her. He took off his glove. Seal was surprised he exposed his mark. She restrained his impulses towards cannibalism and bloodlust. He asked her to come to him as it might not be safe. The girl thought that in the past, she could somehow delay the Duke and buy time for Fairs, but now she cannot do that to him. Therefore, I wished good luck to Furza. The Duke looked at his daughter in surprise. She was taken aback and wished good luck to her father. Fairs was no less surprised. He thought it was for him mentally. The girl changed in front of him. The Duke said that at first he thought it was Furza's son in front of him. Furz said that he had made a vow and was faithful only to his bride. The Duke looked at him with contempt and said that he would die like that without breaking it. Sharkus had already dealt with everyone when suddenly a man suddenly attacked him from behind, but Shrey saw the whole picture in time and managed to kill him before he did anything to his brother. Walking along the road, they discussed what was happening. Sharkus was sure that something had changed in his brother, but he could not describe the changes in words. Sharkus saw that Shrey did not kill the enemy, but simply stunned him. He inadvertently wondered what this was about. He knew that Shrey was the first in cruelty. When the Duke brought him, Sharkus immediately realized that he and the Duke were more similar to each other than their own father and son. He was a real killer who knew no mercy. Sharkus asked the young man that he did not want to kill anyone because of his sister, but the brother said that unlike them, he did not recognize her, and she doesn't consider her a sister. Shrey hesitated and said that the girl simply did not like the smell of blood. Sharkus was surprised. Now he understood why the young man had been wearing sweet perfume lately. Seal stood and watched silently. She couldn't do anything. She was unbearably scared because a fight could soon begin between people dear to her. Suddenly, out of nowhere, Sharkus appeared. He brought her a cape. The girl could not understand how he found them, but she was glad to see him. The young people began to fight with swords. Seal admired their fighting skills. She couldn't understand how Furz could fight like that. His skills were not affected by the potion. He was great, but at the same time the girl was afraid for them. Seal and Dad sat and watched their fight. He fed her cookies. The Duke only gave her the heads of people which were made into the shape of cookies. The girl thought that there was nothing surprising here. He was a villain and continued to eat. A frightened advisor ran up to them. He was very upset and even cried and asked for forgiveness. The girl was surprised because she had never seen him like this. He always hid his emotions under a mask and always looked calm and at ease. The advisor frantically begged for forgiveness and said that he had made an unforgivable mistake. Everyone looked at him in bewilderment. The advisor said that he mistakenly sent invitations to those on the blacklist. The girl was excited. She had never heard of the blacklist. His words confused her. The girl did not understand what kind of blacklist this was and what kind of invitations he sent. She looked at everyone. They had strange expressions on their faces. It seemed to her that she was the only one who did not understand what was happening. They discussed the current situation. The Duke calmly asked Furz about all those invited. He said that it was unlikely that some from the list would come. So they have nothing to worry about in vain. Seal didn't understand why the advisor was shaking so much. The advisor said that the night, Hart Insel would come to replace the Emperor. Everyone looked at each other, and Seal sat and remembered who it was. Suddenly it dawned on her. In the original novella, Hart shoots an arrow into Sharkus's heart. A few days earlier in the palace where the knights were training, an ambiguous conversation took place between the young people. Hart said that he had not seen Sharkus practice for a long time. He also asked one of the knights how long ago he began to protect him. The knight was taken aback, not knowing what to answer. He only said that Sharkus was not feeling well, and the last time he saw him was at the funeral. He asked Hart if he had seen him there. Hart said he wasn't there. The knight told him that he was insensitive and asked how it was possible not to go to the funeral. Hart looked at him with disdain and said that it was a farce, not a real funeral, and he didn't want to be there. Hart knew that if the funeral had been true, Furze would have been buried in accordance with imperial laws. He was sure that all the money from the funeral went to the Bisenas and not to the imperial family, and all the people at the event were just servants of the Bisens. The knight was furious at what he heard, but Hart told him to forget and leave everything behind. He was doubly upset. He owed Bisena a lot of money. When Sharkus invited him to his gaming house, he did not play himself, but only read and drank tea, and all his friends lost, and he took their money. Hart recalled how he saw letters from Ferza at the emperor's. They had everything he wrote before the funeral, and after Ferz told him everything in his letters, he just laughed at their machinations and said that it was still a pity that he didn't die. Hart saw the invitation. He was surprised to see that it was from the Bisons. He thought that most likely their advisor had made a mistake. This had often happened lately. The once outstanding person had become very absent-minded. Hart saw that he was invited to a gala banquet in honor of Seal Bazen. He didn't know who it was, and I thought that this was an illegitimate child who was hidden. Hart thought about it and thought that this was most likely an adopted girl, since the Duke did not have another wife after his wife's death, and one of the knights mentioned the girl. Hart told the butler to prepare a gift for the Bisonov girl. The servant was very surprised, but said that he would do everything. And he said that Lady Mirai asked if he had any rejuvenating potion left, but the man said he gave everything. He was an outstanding alchemist. His potions were very popular and effective, and they predicted a great future for him. But at one point, he gave up everything and became a knight. They begged him to go back, but he didn't want to. Seal couldn't understand how he could come if he would hurt his brother in the future. She remembered the main story and the novel that was released about him and her brother. It was very popular among aristocrats, but no one could find the person who wrote it. The Duke was surprised that Hart wanted to come. He thought that he wanted to spy on her, but the girls were sure that he wanted to know more about the Duke than about her. The Duke told Ferza that if he wanted to become his son-in-law, then he must take care of the man. Seal looked at Ferz and said that this is very dangerous. He took her hand, and looking at her, he told the Duke that he would do everything. There are 8 days left until Seal's birthday. Her father forced Ferze to take bridal lessons. Seal asked her father if she should attend bridal classes. The father said no. The girl said that in that case she could play. The Duke looked at her and said that she had an activity planned, a hidden murder. Seal didn't understand why she needed this. The Duke told the girl not to communicate with Ferz formally. Seal sat and watched Ferz teach different books. He had to learn a lot of information in class, and his advisor helped him. She admired him, how he sat and read casually. Suddenly, Seal remembered her past life when she was a maid, and their meeting. The butler asked her to bring tea and food to Queen Seal, brought everything to him, and saw cookies her favorite. She quietly took it and sat down to eat. When Ferz saw the girl, began to mutter and quickly apologize, but he told her that she could safely take the cookies whenever she wanted and not secretly like a rat. Seal thought that there was something different between them, and without thinking twice, she asked him why he then called her a rat. The young man did not understand what he was talking about. He wanted to get closer to her, but the shield worked. The girl's father made it, and Ferz could not get close to her. It worked immediately. The advisor heard their argument and began to write everything down, and he said that they could lose points. Ciel was shocked, but she asked, what if she lost, there were several, what the punishment would be. He said that she would not be able to eat cookies as usual. Sharkus met a woman. She brought him a rejuvenation potion. He looked at it and said it looked different in the catalog. The lady said they changed the design. He started drinking. The lady shouted that he had drunk too much, but he didn't take her words into account. She asked if their agreement was valid. Sharkus said she would get the painting. The woman would like to have his painting and said that he and his father look very similar. Sharkus said that she had to go, and she hurriedly left. He looked in the mirror looking for similarities. He didn't want to be like him at all, because he killed his mother, and for him, he will forever remain a monster and a murderer. Many years ago, they had a happy family, but after Sharkus was born, his mother fell ill, and after some time, she completely fell ill. Having gone to her room, Sharkus heard her request. The woman asked never to leave her father. She wanted the boy to always be with him. He promised that he would fulfill her request and said that he would pray that she would get better soon. He constantly prayed for her, and that day he also prayed. After prayer, he decided to go to his mother. He saw his father leaving his mother's room with a bloody sword. He asked his father where his mother was and what was wrong with her. The Duke looked at him coldly and said no matter what he called him father. Sharkus came to the Duke. He asked him for one of the Duke's portraits. He said that there were several in the basement and he could take them. Sharkus said that he looked there and didn't find one that would fit. The Duke looked at him in surprise and asked what kind of portrait he wanted. Sharkus hesitated a little and said that he needed a portrait of the Duke who sleeps in an embrace with a bear, or who drinks tea with cookies and has a ribbon in his hair. The Duke was a little puzzled and asked why he needed such art. Sharkus said that this is necessary for Seal's studies. Mireille really wants to have such a portrait. The Duke said that he had already given her 3 portraits. He thought that he could find a new teacher for the girl. But they talked, and he realized that this was not a very good idea, since the girl has such power that not every magician can hold her, and there are few such great magicians. Seal sat and waited for Sharkus. The maid arrived. Seal asked where Sharkus was and why he was late. She was told that today there would be archery and she should not be late. The maid said that she heard that Sharkus returned at midnight and went to the Duke. Seal thought that something must have happened for him to go to him. Seal went to Furza. A maid came to them and brought them a pie Seal was eating. When she suddenly remembered that she had been rude to her father and she needed to apologize to him, the girl went to him. The girl came back and told Furz not to offend Leo and to be kinder to everyone. He agreed with her. When suddenly she remembered that she had not greeted the maid. Marian. Furz asked her if she wanted to meet with her. The girl said that she first needed to ask her dad for time off. After talking, they decided that they would go to the meeting together, but Seal said that she would ask her dad. The girl went to her father. He was waiting for her and prepared a surprise for her. Seal saw her favorite star-shaped cookie. The Duke said he ordered cookies especially for her. The girl was delighted she really liked the cookies. Seal asked how the brilliant Archmage was doing with the antidote. He was surprised when she called him that. He said that growing up prematurely can lead to unwanted consequences. He said he didn't want his daughter to suffer. She said that everything was fine with her, and that it was hard for her before he began to wonder who could have offended her, before suddenly Seal shouted that it was not Furz. The Duke was surprised and asked that the girl raised her voice at him. The girls did not know what would happen to her next. He said that this made him happy since his sons did not raise their voices at him. The Duke said that she would meet Jibril. The girl was shocked because it was the Emperor. Winnie came to Seal and said that Furz had passed the first exam, and also that her salary had been cut, and her ears testified to this. The girl said that when she earned a lot of money, she would raise the maid's salary. Winnie told Seal not to pay attention to Leo, and if he bothers her, she will deal with him. Seal asked her that she wanted to kill the assistant, but Winnie said no, and she quickly changed the topic, saying that she had classes soon. Winnie now works as a maid, but she used to be a famous person. She had a wayward disposition. She ran in, became a pirate, and saved people who were enslaved. She ran away from her parents and fiancé. Later, her fiancé found her and took her prisoner. He tortured her to the point that she lost her memory. After that, the Duke saved her and she began to work for him. Seal went to class. Sharkus gave her a bow. He showed her the first stuffed animal and told her that her victim was Garth Ansel. Seal was perplexed. It was his commander. He asked her if she had read the book that was written about them. Seal said that such reading was not for a young girl. She shot at him. Sharkus was very happy and said that she was great because she was able to kill him 3 times. He showed her the second stuffed animal, and it was an exact copy of Furz. She shot him right in the heart. Sharkus praised her, and he said that on the battlefield she should think about herself first. Cian remembered how her brother died. There was a war going on and her family was losing, and suddenly Garth shot at brother Sharkus. Sharkus saw the arrow and defended his brother. Dying, he told him to become his father's heir. The girl looked at her brother and said that when she grows up she will definitely protect him, and everything will be fine with him. She didn't want anything more. Seal knew she had to protect her family. Seal was drinking tea with her father. The Duke said that no matter what she should not worry. He was confident that Furz would pass the exam. Seal was worried because the exam would be on history, and it would include knowledge of an ancient language. My father spoke it fluently. Seal noticed that her father had been wearing light-colored clothes lately, after thinking she said that he was not a villain at all. The Duke said that he doesn't know what the criteria are, but he is a real villain. And he asked her if he wanted to go over to the light side. The girl said she had no choice. The Duke said that her words upset him very much and that she still has a long way to go. But he heard that she wants to become the head of the family. The girl said that he is now the head of the family, and they cannot hold this position together. The Duke asked Seal if she had heard of the Dakaran royal family. In order to retain the throne for 500 years, they had to kill the king. The Duke said he would wait for this. Seal looked at him and said that it won't be easy, but she will do it. The Duke asked why she did not call him by name. Seal said that Sharkus said that it was impolite. The Duke said that his word was more important. The girl agreed. Seal's birthday has arrived. She looked absolutely amazing. Her brother came to see Seal off. She was very happy. He said that if Sharkus had come, she would have been happier. Seal said she was very happy to see him. He blushed a little. Shrey asked her if her friends would come. She said there weren't many of them. And sometimes it happens that you don't even have anyone to talk to. Shrey asked what about Furs. She replied that he was not a friend, but a future husband. Shrey said that the girl could not calm down. Shrey said that a priest should come to them. But this is not certain. The girl remembered him in real history. He served in the church, but remained neutral. He had magic. Seal asked what his name was. The priest's name was Louis Serato, and he is 3 years older than Sealy. There was bustle all around. The brother told Seal if she was worried, let her hold on to his clothes. She was surprised and asked why not by hand. He said that this cannot be done. Seal sat with her family. Brother said that Furzy was not invited to the holiday. The girl was offended, and she couldn't understand how he couldn't get an invitation. Shrey's stepbrother told her not to forget that they were villains and should behave accordingly. She pretended to be angry. Sharkus asked her why she was like that. The girl said that her brother told her. Sharkus said that they had many guests, so she should smile. Shrey and Sharkus began to argue again about what she should do. Seal said that when she communicates with Sharkus, she will smile, and when she communicates with Shrey, she will be angry. The Duke stood up and greeted the guests. He also thanked them for coming and making them happy with their arrival, and he told them to have fun. Seal was given gifts. The girl was a little shocked by them. They were a little strange. Seal asked why she needed the mace. She was asked that she did not like gifts. She hesitated and didn't answer. Seeing her face, Sharkus said that they would accept the rest of the gifts a little later. When suddenly, Garth Ansel approached them. He brought her cookies in a beautiful box. The girl knew that her father had forbidden anyone to give her cookies. She looked at him with admiration. The Duke told Sharkus to give him his gift. Sharkus approached and wanted to take the gift, but the man prevented him, saying that the gift was quite safe and the young lady could take it. Sharkus said that all gifts go through the Duke and he must hand them over. The man gave him a gift. Everyone loved their brawl. The ladies said that they were just like characters from a novel. Seal said to give her the cookies, but my brother said that he needed to be checked. He said that the girl could eat the cookies he gave her. Seal said that he gives her the same cookies every day, but she wants something new. The man said that he had prepared another gift for the birthday girl. He started to pester him. The brothers thought that he was preparing an assassination attempt on her, and they were on guard. Shrey put a knife to his throat, but the man took out a box of cookies. Seal was shocked. The cookies were limited in production and were only prepared once every 10 years. The Duke asked how he knew his daughter liked cookies. He said that all children at that age like cookies. Seal dropped the box of cookies. The young man picked it up. He said that she could come visit him whenever she wanted, and he would treat her to ice cream. It was not as popular as the cookies, but it was very tasty. The Duke said that the girl did not need to go anywhere. She just has to wish, and everything will be delivered. Seal was surprised and very happy. Furza sat and translated books from the ancient language. When suddenly Seal flew to him on a dragon, he told the young lady that it was very dangerous to fly like that and at such a height. Seal got off the dragon and entered his room. He came close to her. The girl said they should not get closer than 5 meters. Furs said he passed the exam, and the Duke reduced the distance to 1 meter. Seal brought him cookies. She said they taste different. She threw him a box. He caught it. Seal said, "Who gave it to her?" Furze was surprised how she knew Sir Ansel. She said that she didn't even know him. He just came and gave a gift, and they met during the celebration. She asked Furza if he wanted to go for a walk. He agreed because he was tired of sitting in a room and completing a task. Seal invited him to sit on the dog and follow her, and the dragon. Furs saw the dog and said that it was not a dog but a monster. Furs asked how she was able to get to him so unnoticed. Seal said that after a year of living in the family, she knows all the loopholes. The young lady suggested they stop near the lake. Seal asked the young man when they would get married. He said he hadn't thought about it yet and asked when she wanted. Seal asked if the time depended on their contract. Fairs thought, and said that it was too early to think about it, and it was still too early for her to get married. He took out a small bottle and began to drink. Seal asked what he had. He said they were just vitamins, but she realized that it was poison and began to take it from his hands. He told her to stop because the spell might work, but nothing happened. Then she said that they were outside the castle and that the spell did not work. They walked around the area holding hands. Furzy asked her if she would like to visit his estate. The girl said that she didn't know and that this was not a better solution since they might find her. And she's really worried about Dad. Furzy said if she doesn't want to, he will go alone. Seal said that she would go with him, but would write her father a note so that he would not worry. They sat in the bushes and hid while her father's servants searched for them. Furs was sure that they did not need to sit like that, but Seal was sure of the opposite. Suddenly, they saw a man. This was the man who gave her cookies for her birthday. Seal was surprised that he was walking in such a wilderness and thought that he was plotting something wrong against her family. Sir Ansel noticed them. Furs appeared first, followed by Seal. He said that he could not accept that they wanted to escape, and he intended to stop them. Furzy told him to mind his own business. He asked when he was going to grow up, and Seal also asked him about it. Fairs quieted down a bit and said that he just wanted to match her age. The man asked if he could guide them. Seal asked why he was so insistent on going with them. He said that her father kicked him out, and he had nowhere to go. Fairs was happy and said with a smile that he didn't have to come at all. Seal said he could come with them, and she asked if he knew why her father's power didn't work. The man said that he had a ring on his hand that blocked the Duke's power. The girl was amazed. Sir said that their clothes were not at all suitable for escaping. With one wave of his hand, he changed their outfits. He also asked Seal not to tell anyone that he helped them. Seal said she wouldn't tell anyone. The young people were about to go through the main gate. Fairs put his cape on Seal, and they walked quietly. The girl was surprised that it was so easy to get through. The man said that he cast magic on them and they became invisible to everyone. The Duke asked the servants if they had found his daughter. The men said they looked everywhere, but the girl was nowhere to be found. He was furious and at a loss as to where she could have gone. The cook sat and cried. He was upset that the young lady didn't try his holiday cookie house, and he tried so hard for her. The Duke could not believe that his daughter did this to him. Sharkus said that it was his fault and that he should have dealt with Furs earlier, but the Duke said that Estelle did it. He kicked him out, and he decided to take revenge on him. The Duke said that Shrey would deal with them, and Sharkus should keep an eye on the Emperor. He should arrive at the estate soon, and he needs to find out everything about it so that they don't have problems. The young gentleman walked through the gate calmly and quietly. Nobody noticed them. Seal was surprised and said that it was very simple. Estelle said that he cast magic on them, and that is why they were not seen. Seal said that he could have told her earlier so that she wouldn't wear a hood. They have already seen their friends. Elle said that she was sorry that the dog did not have wings. With wings, they would get to their destination faster. Sir Estelle cast a magic spell, and the dog got wings. The girl was happy about the new changes and thanked him. She also said he was cool. They mounted their pets and flew off. The man said that they needed to land in the forest and showed them the direction as they might be seen. Seal said he was right. They arrived at the scene. A carriage was waiting for them. Seal was surprised as she did not expect the carriage to arrive so quickly. Seal said goodbye to her pets and they went to the castle. Seal said that she would like to meet the maid, but she is not sure that she will recognize her. Furs said that she knew everything and would certainly recognize her, but unfortunately she fell ill and is now resting and gaining strength until she makes a full recovery. The young man said that she also needed to rest after a hard journey and he would accompany her. The girl did not resist and went with him. Sharkus stood near the window and thought about his sister. He wanted her to return as soon as possible. He promised that he would be more affectionate with her. Seal looked into Furza's office and asked for a piece of paper. She wanted to write a letter to her father so that he would not worry. Furza asked if she liked her father. Seal said that she really did, and asked if he liked his parents. Furza thought about it, and he remembered old times and his parents. Roman Eckhart was the younger brother of the 17-year-old emperor of the empire, Jibril. Since childhood, he was weak, timid, and easily susceptible to other people's opinions. Therefore, his brother was able to become emperor without a fight. Roman had a son. It was Furza, who was very different from Dad. The 17-year-old emperor inspired his son, Crown Prince Callan, to be wary of Furza since he could take the throne at any time. Until his last breath, he told him not to let his guard down, as Furza could lay claim to the throne. On top of that, Furza had a dragon bone sword in his arsenal, making him a threat. The sword, which was made from the bone of the first dragon, was called Warhite. Such a sword was also called God's gift. The very first dragon was named Sharoon Warhite, and this dragon had a son from a woman. Marcus was a man with the blood of a dragon in his veins. He was a simple blacksmith. The dragon gave his bone to his son, and he made a sword out of it, which he called Warhite. So the blade was endowed with unusual power that few could resist. But one day the emperor announced a hunt for a bloodthirsty dragon. And as a reward, he promised not only gold and silver, but also the opportunity to marry his daughter, taking the throne. Marcus, driven by curiosity, decided to look at the imperial daughter. She was very beautiful, and he fell in love at first sight. But not having a penny in his pocket, he could not even think about the princess. After thinking, he went to his father. He came to his father and said that he had a problem. He immediately understood why he had come. He asked him if he wanted to get the princess, adding that to do this, he would have to kill the one who gave him all his love. The young man said that he knew that it was very mean of him, but he just really wanted to win the hand of the young princess. The dragon said that his son would become king, and he in turn would turn into a bloodthirsty monster that would destroy royal destinies. The dragon said that his curse would not affect his son, but it would envelop anyone who tried to take possession of the sword, made from his bone. He said that he would get everything he dreamed of, even if all that was left of him was burnt bones and an unbeatable heart. So the son killed his father, a sword made from his own bone. After his death, the Travia cup was made from his heart. She defended the Jibril Empire, and the sword forged from bone became both a blessing and a curse. Knights who used the dragon sword suffered from illness upon reaching adulthood. They suffered from hallucinations and paranoia. They could not distinguish reality from illusions. Unable to endure this, many committed suicide. The rest of those maddened by the curse were either sent to the scaffold or imprisoned. In order to break the dragon's curse, the holy cup of Travia made from the heart of a dragon was needed. However, the cup which saved the empire from various incidents could not be used just like that. It took 20 years to imbue the cup with magic. Emperors also forbade their knights to use the cup. But before the curse completely consumed the knights' minds, they rebelled against the emperor and stole the cup. Since then, Warhite has been called not only the Sword of Dragon Glory, but also the Sword of Traitors. When Furza was 5 years old, he pulled out a sword into the dungeon of the estate. His mother told him not to touch the dragon sword. She told him that he was now destined to become a puppet of the sword, and that the sword would consume his soul. His mother said that now, for the rest of his life, he will have to prove that he is not a traitor. Fairs fell into memories. Seal called out to him. She asked if everything was okay with him as he looked worried. She also said that she would like to see Aunt Marian as soon as possible. Furza asked her if Marian really saved her. She hesitated but answered yes. Furzy remembered that day Seal lay dying on the ground. She asked Fairzy to save her. The young man looked at her and asked her if he saved her, what would he get in return? The girl could only whisper that she would never leave him. Everyone in the yard was in shock. They did not understand why Furs saved her. Sitting in the room, Marian said that if the head of the family found out, he wouldn't like it. Fairzy looked at her and said that he was the head of the family, and they will make the girl a maid. The maid apologized for her words. The young man said that it was unnecessary to pin the child just because he decided to help her. Seal worked tirelessly. Furs called out to her and asked why she was happy here. The girl smiled, and she has a job, a roof over her head, and she doesn't go hungry. Seal said that she was very hurt. And when she woke up, The maid told her everything. Furza said that it was he who saved her, not the maid. Seal thanked him for giving his consent and letting her into the house. Seal asked the master what he lives for. He replied that he lived for self-sacrifice and duty. The girl was shocked. She asked if he couldn't live for something abstract, but he only replied that he didn't deserve it. Seal said that this is not right. Everyone in the castle loves him, and his family loves him too. She said that he was not a puppet at all and deserved happiness, and he simply must live the life he wants. Seal had already been at the manor for 3 days. She remembered how her father was. At such an early time she ran to him, and he treated her to cookies. She thought about her family and what had changed for them while she was away. The Duke came to his son. He said that Seal was missing and it was his fault as he was very strict with her. Shrey asked his father why he thought so. The Duke was sad. He said he was worried that she might pay for his sins and that she might get hurt. And because of his anxiety, the man became obsessed with training. Shrey said that the father is not to blame, but rather he himself is to blame for her escape, since he was worried that at the end of the contract she would leave them and was rude and inattentive to her. The young man said that he would find her. The Duke said that this was exactly what he wanted to ask him about. The Duke asked his son to make Furze understand what happens when he offends his family, but he asked that everything be done carefully so that the girl would not get hurt. The Duke walked up to his son and stroked his head. They both froze, looking at each other in shock. The Duke said that his hair was wrinkled and he was straightening it. The young man said that his father need not worry, he will do everything. Leaving the room, the Duke said that the boy should be more careful. The young boy froze in surprise and blushed. This had never happened before.